What is going on? Welcome to No Chill Promos. How y'all doing? Hope having a blessed weekend watching this so far. Before I get started with everybody's favorite show on the channel, total non-stop action. Just gotta do a quick shout out to all subscribers to the channel and to the followers on Rum, right? I'm at the 333 on this channel, which is crazy, right? That's a pretty crazy number for, a variety of reasons. But thank you to whoever subbed. I was trying to upload yesterday, but I was busy. I had to replace my batteries, so, besides some other things, so yeah. Didn't get time to do it yesterday, but try to make it up today, right? So knock out this TNA review. Probably gonna do the AEW review, hopefully later on today if I have enough time, but I have to see. But without further ado, let's get into this show, right? First match is a 6-man tag team match. It's the Systems, Eddie Edwards, Brian Myers, and man, do I hate pro wrestling, JDC Dirty Dango. They're going up against Eric Young, John Gresham, and Steve Macklin. Alright, good tag team match. I'm fast forward to the finish, and I said this earlier this week, I'm not breaking down any matches this week because there's too much shit I gotta cover, right? Too fucking much, so I just gotta break it down, let's get my quick thoughts on the match, and all that good stuff. But yeah, fast forward to the finish, right? Steve Macklin hits the tag 'em, bag 'em spear in a tree well position to the KIA for the 1, 2, 3. Alright, so Macklin, Young, Gresham go over. After the match, the System whoops their asses. Alright, they take out Macklin and Young out the ring. Myers and Edwards hit their tag team finisher to Gresham, and then they give him the Jeff Hardy treatment, which was, like putting the chair up against his throat and then ramming him up into the turnpost. Right, so Gresham is down. Jonathan Gresham is down. Right? The System, JDC dancing on the chair like an asshole, like this fucking road dog. Alright. Then Macklin and Young try to come in to help, but it's too late. The damage is done. So that's it. So moving on, we get this might be the highlight of the show because we get a little, how you say this, like kind of almost like a mini documentary, an inside scoop on Joe Hendry's life. We never seen this level of vulnerability before from Hendry, because this man told his entire life story up until this moment, right? In this video package, from as a kid to not having any innate talents that made him stand out from the crowd, to starting his own band, falling in love with music, to being legit. He's a 2-time national champion and British and Greco-Roman wrestling. I didn't know that. So Joe Hendry is legit. All right, I'm just being a fan of TNA to now being in the main event at Genesis for TNA. So and there's more to it. Like this was like probably a good under 10 minutes, video package. So I'm not going to break down everything, but it just reminds me of Henry Rollins, from the Rollins band, or Black Flag, you know what I mean? I'll watch some of his old interviews. He was just saying how, he made it this far in life because of hard work. Simple, I'm not talented. He's like, I'm not talented by any means. I just work harder than the next man. And I can relate to that, because I feel the same way. I feel I don't have any intrinsic talents or abilities that make me stand out from everybody else. I mean, what little I do have in this life, I've worked my ass off, busted my ass to get those things. You know what I mean? I have too much pride to ask for help or just beg. I can't. I can't fucking do it. At least not on my behalf. You know what I mean? I'd rather suffer than fucking ask for help, you know what I mean? Just be perceived as weak, you know what I mean? That's just me, I guess. Point is, I'm not trying to ramble or yap, as the kids say. This guys like Hendry, he worked for everything that he had in his life. All right, and at Genesis, hopefully it'll be the apex of his career at winning the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. Because if he doesn't, man, oh man, I don't think I can find the words to convey how tough, how rough, and how that matter of fact, it's just fucked up. I'm like, just plain and simple. I'm like, to go to that amount of effort, try to build this dude up, like, that's like going to like you're right there at the finishing line. All you gotta do is make one more step, and then you see like the time runs out, where it's like, that's it, time's up, it's over, or you get disqualified or some shit. And it's like, damn, like, that's so fucking shitty. I mean, so fucking shitty. But I don't believe that's gonna happen. I believe, and I stated this during the Bound for Glory review, that Genesis is where Joe Hendry will win it all, right? He will finally become the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. I still stand by it. And if he doesn't, well, and I gotta say it like it is.
You're done. You're washed. It's over.
We shall see. But I would highly recommend you go watch this video package, especially if you don't know anything about Joe Hendry. Alright, this video will tell you why I believe in Joe Hendry. Dun, dun. Right. Now, if you still don't believe in him after watching this, well, then you're a non-believer. Alright, it is what it is. Right. You know, we'll be funny if at Genesis Joe Hendry comes out to Journeys, don't stop believing. Like that'd be hilarious. Alright, but yeah, that's it for this segment, so let's move on. Next we have a match. She's Savannah Evans. She comes out, she gets interrupted by Xia Brookside. Xia Brookside shows footage of a triple threat match between her, Savannah, and Roseberry. Xia says, I had you beat. I mean, I would have went on to challenge for the Knockouts World Championship, but you injured me. But that's okay, because I'm not the only Xia that wants revenge, and she's back here tonight. So Xia Brookside, meet Xia Li, or better known as Lei Ling Lee. Looking beautiful as always. The match itself was okay. Then fast forward to the finish, which was Lee, countering the full Nelson slam into the Thunderstruck, which is kind of like the tornado kick, basically, to Savannah. Looked like shit. I'm not gonna lie. Like that kick did not look clean at all. Right, but she gets the win off of it. Right, Lei Ling Lee goes over, gets her revenge on Savannah Evans. Right, moving on, we see Gia, her fine ass backstage. She's talking about all the chaos that was going on in the Knockouts division, and she gets interrupted by the Juggernaut, Jordan Grace. She's like, Tessa, you want to come at me, bitch? Alright, well, why don't you step up and meet me out there in the ring tonight? Basically what she said here. Now we move on to the next match, which is kind of like a gauntlet match with my nigga, Mike Santana. He's taking on the Northern Armory. First one up is Kid Icarus, aka Simon Gulak. Fast forward, we see Santana hit a nasty, and I do mean a nasty spin the block clothesline to Icarus for the 1-2-3. Packs his ass up. Next is Jimmy Hopkins from Rockstar's Bully. Fast forward, Santana hits the alley-oop into a sit-out powerbomb for the 1-2-3. We then find ourselves looking down the barrel of a weapon. Perk Alexander comes out, but the match gets disqualified as Kid Icarus and Jimmy Hopkins attack Santana. So technically Santana wins the match, but not how he wanted to go out. Right? So then we see Perk Alexander hits a C4 spike onto Santana, and the crowd was roasting the shit out of Perk Alexander. Right? It said, bald ass head, bald ass head, bald ass head. And I heard one dude, he was like, oh brother, this guy stinks. That shit had me dying. That's hilarious. Alright, he then gets back his headgear. He was like, as long as I'm here, Santana, you'll never be the guy. And some dude was like, well, you never had hair. Right? Or, you look stupid. You look stupid. Like, damn. Absolutely hilarious. But that's it for this segment, so we move on. And next, we go backstage with the concierge for Ash and Heather Balligans. Right? He says that he's here to make an official announcement that Ash Heather Balligans will be the next TNA Knockouts Tag Team Champions. And next week, we're going to do a pre-Ash and Heather Balligans Knockouts Tag Team Championship celebration. And it will be elegant. Basically what is said here, so let's move on. Now, earlier in the show, we seen a little kind of like vignette of Masha Samovich, and basically it was Rosemary playing her mind games to Masha, and then that leads us to this next segment of basically Rosemary like holding Raven at knife point, having a knife right against his throat, right? And for some reason, like we see Raven surprisingly calm, right, in his demeanor. You know, has a fucking blade right against his fucking trachea, but he's just cool, calm, collected. I mean, like, shit doesn't even faze him. But he tells Rosemary, he's like, well, why don't you challenge Masha to my Clockwork Orange match? That way you can have as much depravity in one match as you possibly can. Rosemary says, you do that for us? Like, what a genius idea. I love it. So they're going to have a Clockwork Orange match between Rosemary and Mother Russia. Russia Slamovic, right? It's good to see Raven. He still looks the same. Like, he still looks the same like back in like fucking 2004. You know what I mean? Like, so good to see him though. That leads us to the next match. And this match was easily the match of the night. And that's between the Good Hands versus the Rascals. John Skyler comes out with a microphone. He says, pipe down to all you Georgia goofs, because they're still here in Hotlanta, ATL, right? He says, you people that have the audacity to boo such a great tag team and myself and Jason Hodge, but yet you cheer for these degenerates from a treehouse called the Rascals. But their treehouses are better than all your shitty trailer parks here in Georgia. Crowd boos. You're like, oh, don't boo us because all your sports teams absolutely suck. But you guys be cheering us after we get the Rascals these good hands. Basically what is said here, and I will say the Good Hands are absolutely underrated. Hopefully they can win themselves some tag team gold here in 2025. Right? But again, this was easily the best match of the night. I'm going to fast forward to the finish, which was Rascals hitting their tag team finisher, feed them to the Lions for the 1, 2, 3. Rascals go over, and of course they're going to go over because they're not going to lose before Genesis. It's not going to happen, right? Too easy. We move on. We see the king of TNA, King Cass, Killer Cass, aka Frankie Kazarian, talking to Rhino. King Cass says, "Hey Rhino, just letting you know, we're watching that main event here tonight, and after you hit that big old roller on Nick Nemeth, I might cash in. Let's call your shot trophy. Just letting you know, we thank you in advance." And Rhino looks completely irritated right here, and that's it. So then next we see Steve Macklin and Eric Young backstage. Macklin's pissed off at the system. Eric Young declares that they are, I guess you call themselves, the Renegade. Right, this is a declaration of war. But they get interrupted by, hold up, wait a minute now. First Class. Right, we see Flop Dollar General, AJ Not Styles, aka AJ Francis, who is like, weren't you in the military? Like, what are you two complaining about? Alright, like, both you guys are world champions. I mean, it can't be that damn hard. Like, Casey was like, I know, right? Casey's hilarious. Right? And Macklin was like, "Oh, this is a joke to you, huh? Like, you got your ass kicked a few weeks ago, and KC, you were never even a number one contender for the World Heavyweight Championship. So what the hell are you two talking about?" Well, AJ was like, "Well, listen, that's not the only gold First Class is concerned with. So we might be going after some tag team gold as well." The Renegade was like, "Oh, you want a match? You got it." He's like, "Oh, hey, we'll go talk to Santino right now." And then Casey is like, "Hey, Santino, First Class needs to talk to you." Right? Casey cracks me up, man. That dude's hilarious. But we gotta keep it moving. Do you wanna know something? Boo. Do you wanna know something? We see Alicia Edwards and Moose coming off for a promo. Crowd boos the shit out of her. Telling her, "Shut the hell up. Shut the hell up." Moose then says, "I am the greatest X Division champion of all time." And I like how he calls himself the GOAT after 2 title defenses. Alright, he says that Genesis, "You will never ever see this ugly ass belt around my waist again, because I will be debuting a new X Division championship for the face of the franchise, Moose." And then Alicia Edwards then throws the belt out of the ring, right? And then we see the world's tallest man of all time, Andrew the Giant, Andrew Everett. He comes out to absolutely no pop, right? At all. It was kind of sad, I'm not gonna lie. Right? He's been doing his thing in DPW. Shout out to Deadlock. Right? He comes out, he's like, "See, that's why what you just did, Moose. That's why you're the biggest piece of shit I've ever seen. Right? You're not an X Division wrestler. I am." Moose then says, "Who the hell are you?" Alright, "Who is this kid? Alicia, you know this dude?" Alicia was like, "No." "Alright, well, you got about 5 seconds to get the hell out of my ring before I put you down." Andrew the Giant then says, "Trying to jog your memory is a losing battle, Moose. But I'm here to remind you and the entire world that I used to be an X Division wrestler, that I am the X Division and you're not." Moose then hits the big boot and he says, "Well, I'll tell you what, Andrew, you just earned yourself a shot at the X Division Championship." Alright, so we get an impromptu title match for the X Division Championship. Right? Now, Andrew the Giant did get some offense in, but it pretty much ends up being a squash match, as Moose hits a nasty. And this was the spot of the night right here. And I do mean a nasty chokeslam onto the edge of the ring apron. And just the loud ass thud that it made, just the sound. The crowd was like, "Oh," it's like, "Oh," you know what I mean? Like, that was nasty. I know that shit hurt, right? Andrew was down. He did not recover after that, because Moose hit another high angle power bomb to the ring apron. He then finishes him off with an actual last ride power bomb. Michael Cole. That's what a last ride power bomb looks like. For the 1, 2, 3, and still the X Division champion, Moose. See Ace Austin, he was looking from the back, looked unimpressed. Right, even though Moose completely dismantled the world's tallest man and Andrew the Giant with relative ease. Moving on, we see Sami Callihan talking to Santino Marella backstage. Sami was like, "Look, me and PCO, we didn't even get pinned during the number one contenders match for the TNA tag team titles. Right? So I think we deserve another opportunity to get those belts." Santino was like, "You make a good point. So I tell you what, like the newly formed Death Meat." And Sami was like, that's not our name. That's not our tag team name. But you're going to face the Hard Boys in a non-title match. next week. And if you win next week, then I'll add you to Genesis, where it will be the Rascals versus the Hard Boys versus Death Beat for the TNA Tag Team titles. Same was like, that's not our name, but I like it. And this is week number 2, where we get no follow-up, no reference to this whole 23 number, 23 and me. You know what I mean? Like, there's been no mention of this shit. Like, so, I mean, what, again, I mean, we got limited dates, limited appearances, like JBL? What the fuck's going on here? So, I just had to mention that. But we move on to Jordan Grace. You know, she's in the ring. She's pissed off. She says, like, Tessa, you bring your fucking Mount Kilimanjaro having ass chin right now to this ring so I can whoop that ass. Tessa says, I'll be your Huckleberry. So she brings her crimson chin having ass to that ring. They start fighting all over the place. Security comes to break them up. The crowd chants like they're Jerry Springer, let them fight, let them fight, let them fight. Now, commentary announced that at Genesis, it will be the Juggernaut, Jordan Grace versus Tessa Blanchard, one-on-one. Then that leads us to the main event, which is a tag team match of the Man Beast Rhino and I believe in Joe Hendry versus Nick Nemeth and Nick Nemeth's brother. Right? I'm just going to fast forward to the finish. Before I do, we see King Cass on commentary for this match. He says, Matthew, I just want to wish you a Happy New Year, and Tom, I hope you're sucked. Fast forward to the finish, which is Joe Hendry hitting the standing ovation on Nick Nemeth's brother, the jobber that he is, for the 1, 2, 3. So Rhino and Joe go over, bring up more momentum for Joe to take down Nick Nemeth and end his reign once and for all. Quick side note, I heard that Rhino is officially done with TNA, so I don't know how many more appearances he had with TNA up to this point, but yeah, I know like this year he's done. I don't know if he's done wrestling, but I know he's done with TNA. So big ups to Rhino and whatever it is he decides to do, right? But yeah, that's pretty much it for this week's TNA episode. So let me know your guys' thoughts on the show overall, you know, your favorite match, favorite promo, all that good stuff, right? Love it, hate it, comments, subscribe to the channel, it's all the same to me. I just want to see the engagement and feedback from you guys. Next video, probably knock out the AEW review for this week. Then I gotta do, still gotta do Dynasty. And to be honest, I haven't even watched this shit yet, man. That's like 5 hours. I'm like, fuck, man, that's too fucking long. It's too much. It's like watching Endgame like back to back, back to back. You know, so I'll watch it at some point. You know, so but yeah, I wish enough for you guys this time. So that said, be safe, be blessed, take care of yourself, protect yours, your loved ones, stay warm, or stay cool wherever you're at. You know, but most importantly, trust in God. I'm out of here. Until next time, adios.